How to invest in the UK property market with not much money. What do we do? And is it possible? The answer is yes, it is possible. And there are certain strategies which I'm going to show you. Okay, we're going to look at a rent to rent and how it works, and whether you do a rent to service accommodation or to an HMO. I'm going to give it really simple, and then we're going to cover some really important fundamentals regarding tax, which if you're new into property you won't have a clue. But let's just look at how rent to rent works. First of all, oops, sorry, wrong pen, don't want that one. This one you should see. Okay, so first of all, there's a nice house which you want to rent, and let's suppose in the market value rent is let's say it's £1,000. okay, £1,000 per month. So you want to go along and you now offer the landlord, look, I would like to rent that, give you guaranteed rent for 3-5 years, whatever you want, okay? And they say, okay, but you say, well, look, if I give you guaranteed rent, would you reduce that? And they say, well, I might reduce it to £950. Now, this is the power of your negotiation. And also, are you going to improve the property? Are you going to give it, paint it a bit? Are you going to look after it? What are you going to do with it? So this is where you can negotiate. You can certainly negotiate that down. Hopefully you'll get it down to something like, I would expect around about £850, because remember, they're not going to be paying, hopefully, a management company. So that saves them £100 straight away. If you're going to look after basic maintenance for them, say up to £200, and then they do anything over, or you look after it with the maintenance and it's just insurance things such as the roof or the boiler break, something like that, then surely they will take a bit off. So around about £800. However, this would be a, let's say, a 3-bed, and it has 2 reception rooms. So we can now turn that into 4-bed property, and you go per room. So you now rent it per room. So what would you rent it per room? Let's keep it really simple for you guys. It's going to change in different areas, okay? In some places, it's going to be, £300 a month. Other places it's going to be £900 a month. In Cambridge, where I am, some of those rooms, 700 to 850, something like that. But let's keep this simple. We're going to do per room at £500 by 4 rooms, so we have a total income of £2,000 a month. Nice and easy. So what we've got to do now is that we have income, okay, so we plus £2,000, and now we've got to take off the expenditure. So let's have a look. So we know that our rent is, oh, I've got another bad pen. What is going on? I just bought a load of new pens. Sorry guys. So the rent is £850, and that's a minus. You're going to manage it so there are no managing costs, but you have utilities. That will be council tax, gas, electric, water, internet. These are costs. If you have students as tenants or unemployed, there's no council tax. So let's just put something down here. Let's put that it's going to cost you £400 per month, right? 400. Then what else have you got? You've got a bit of maintenance, you've got voids. So you've got to take in maintenance and voids. And let's take, we'll make that £100, okay? We'll just pick a number out there. So we took these up, that's 12, 1350, 1350. Take that away from the 2,000, and we make a net profit per month of £650. That multiplied by 12 is well over it's nearly £8,000 a year. So you can now see how you do a rent to HMO. But what do you need at the start? And that's a very important question. At the start, when you start to do it, you need to have money for a deposit. So that might be £2,000. You need the rent. That would be £2,000. You'll need a contract. that will be, let's call it £1,000. And you'll probably put some money into the property. If it hasn't got your beds and everything, you can lease that. That would come as another cost. But let's suppose you put in furniture and decoration, and we're going to spend about £3,000 there. All right. So now we've got £8,000. But look at this. We're talking about return on investment here. £8,000 will get you something like this. Now they have to have permissions with the mortgage company, etc., that you can do this. But if you can make, so 6,000, you're going to make £7,800. That by 12 equals £7,800. So in the first year, you got your money back out. Plus, remember, you got 2,000 being held for a deposit. You're going to get that back at the end. But for the next 2 years, you're going to make over £15,000. And that is with using £8,000 to start with. In many instances, when the landlord will trust you, because you're going to put money in at the beginning, that you won't have to put a deposit. In many instances, not only will they do this, but they're going to give you a discount of maybe 2 or 3 months if you're going to decorate and do everything else to their house. That's just one way. That's one way. Another way for you guys is rent to service accommodation. All right, so rent to service accommodation. Again, let's take the same scenario. We'll keep it really, really simple. This is a couple of emails from you guys who've been watching my YouTube videos. Please put your comments. Some of you, if you want to email me direct, that's fine. Please share this video. Do me a favor, share it around to your friends who are interested in property, and tag them to some of my playlists, the development, the A to Z of property, purchase lease options, all this stuff. And people will learn, and they will save money and save a lot of pain by not making a mistake. But we're going to take it again. Its rent on the market is £1,000. We're going to renegotiate and bring that down. We'll get it down to £850, okay, per month. Great. We've still got a 3-bed plus 2 reception rooms. But now, I don't want to do it as an HMO. I want to do it as a service accommodation. I can tell you, when rent to service accommodation came out first, a lot of people were doing it with apartments. A good tip, guys, do houses. It's so much less trouble, because there can be a lot of problems where on the head lease you do a rent to service accommodation in an apartment, and on the head lease it actually clearly says, a lot of people miss this, under no circumstances can commercial or business activities take place on these premises. So you might have signed it up, got it going. As soon as the neighbours complain to the management agent, they break that contract and you walk away and you lose money. So remember that. But let's say you got that now. So a 3-bed house, depending where you are, let's just work it out here. And let's say, what are my costs? All right. So we're going to come back to rental income. We're going to do rental income here. Rental income, I'm going to put here. Okay, but I'm not going to do it just yet. What we're going to do, we are going to work on, not that one. I've got to get rid of these. Yeah, I'll chuck them down out there. That's better. What we're going to do, we're going to make, so we've got rent at £850. We've got utilities again. Utilities, that hasn't changed, £400. We do have cleaning and washing to do each time. Now, when you advertise, you can advertise that that's going to be taken care of, so there's an extra £25, £30, and so that doesn't actually come into your figures unless you're doing more. But let's say it's not quite enough. We'll put something down for cleaning and maintenance over the month, and we'll put it down an extra £200. Okay, so there you go. So we've got our costs, what it's going to be to run, 0, 5, and that is £1,400. So £1,400 is what it's going to cost to run. But what's it going to really, in my income, where am I going to be on my income? Well, if I rented a whole house, I would be expecting, I can tell you one of the houses that we've got is £170 per night for a 3-bed house. But let's forget that figure. Let's do £100 a night, and that's good. All right, £100 per night, and that's a discounted price, because what that does, it brings it to a brilliant level. And unless you get this, all right, so that's 1,500, and I have a golden rule. This is for 15 nights. All right, I have a golden rule that unless you hit parity or income to expenditure on 15 nights, you shouldn't be doing it. A lot of people say, oh, you know, working out 75% over it, and so 18, 20 nights and you'll be fine. No, unless you are starting to be clear and you can make money on night 16 in the month, you should not be doing it. But let's take that. If you now are doing 20 nights, you know, you can easily be making, you know, 500, 600, 700, 800 pounds a month profit. You really, really can. And easy. And if you put it up, if it's 120 pounds a night, and sometimes you get people that want to stay a bit longer. They want not 1 week, but a month. And you can make very good, secure money and keep it going. Now, there are a few other costs, such as advertising. You're going to lose some on your commission from booking.com, and that's why I've done a net figure of £100, so it would be going on about 120. Their average thing is about commission is around about 20%, 15% I think now. One more thing, and there's many things there. Look, the lease options I love. If you want to know about lease options, tell me, I'll do a video. I have got training on that. And listen, I'm not a specialist in service accommodation. Leslie Tow is. But if you want to know more, drop me an email and I'll give you her details and you can have a chat with her. Now, the big thing, guys, which you've got to know if you're going to start in property, and that is this one, clause 24. All right? Right, it only applies to individuals, all right, not to companies. Okay, people get this mixed up because they really don't. There's so many people talking without knowledge, but it's a really, really bad one. Okay, and I'm going to show you what clause 24 is. So if you're new into property and you're thinking of buying, you think, well, I'll just buy it in my name. Don't do it. Take advice from your accountant, and this is why. I'll just show you in simple numbers. I'll use this one here. Let's supposing you have a house, an apartment, doesn't matter what it is, but you bought it. You bought it with a 25% deposit, 75% loan to value mortgage, and so now you've got rent coming in at 1,000. We're now going to say that you have your mortgage interest, and that is £500. Then you're going to have your other costs, and let's supposing someone, you know, their tenants are going to pay the council tax and utilities, but your managing agent, your voids, insurance, gas safety and maintenance, we're just going to put that down as a cost of £200 per month. All right, so you are left with a profit of £300. Multiply that by 12 equals 3,600. Okay, and normally if you're new in property, you'll be saying that's fine because that's all costs and this is pure profit, so the government will only tax me on 3,600. Wrong. And I'll tell you why. This is the big change. This has come in over the last few years, but this is where it changes. The government has brought this in. It's in full operation now. What they say is this interest only mortgage, and any interest that you pay, it doesn't matter if you pay capital interest, the interest part they're going to look at. And in this one, this is interest only mortgage, £500. They said, no, you're benefiting from that as a landlord. That cannot now be written off as a cost as it used to be. So what they're going to do, they count that as income, they multiply it by 12, and now it's £6,000. So they've said you had that, you've received that, now it's £9,600 income. And guess what? Now you're going to pay tax on that. So if you've already used your allowance in your personal tax and this is on top, think about it. And if you're a higher taxpayer, if you're if you're a 40% taxpayer, guess what? You see your 300, see your 3,300 pound a month, £300 a month profit, 3,600. You receive zero, nothing, and not only that, you are most likely going to have to take money out of your pocket and pay the tax man. This is what clause 24 is all about. So if you're thinking of investing in property and you're doing it in your personal name, think again. Go and speak to your accountant, get professional advice, talking about clause 24, and I'm pretty sure he's going to say do a company. Guys, I hope you found this informative. Please share it to friends and family that you might think will enjoy it. Please subscribe, make comments, drop me an email. If you're interested in any of our training, we've got online training which is available to you now in buy, refurb, refinance, purchase lease options, how to buy auctions, and soon to come on is the rent-to-rent strategy with Leslie Town. We're going to put that up soon. Guys, take care, stay safe, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.